Welcome back to Cake With It. I'm Jerry, and this is my kingdom. And today we are making a dead clown from start to finish, and it's very gruesome. So if you have a weak stomach and if you hate clowns, I suggest you walk away, get dinner, come back, and watch me make it from start to finish.
I baked 2 half-sheet vanilla cakes that I infused with coffee, and I'm gonna cut them on an angle like a triangle because that's the bottom of my cake, which you will see. And I'm gonna soak it with simple syrup, especially the one that cracked, which I'm still gonna use. And then I'm gonna put them on a board that I cut, and I'm gonna trim the edges, and that's gonna be the shoulder of my cake.
So what does a dead clown taste like? Coffee. So I grabbed my regular buttercream and added coffee extract, or you can grab instant coffee and add that to your buttercream. And that's what a clown tastes like to me. But you can flavor it any way you want.
I'm going to spread the coffee flavored buttercream all around my cake, all the way to the edges, and I'm gonna place my other cake on top, and I'm gonna make sure I trim the corners because those are the shoulders of my clown. And using Mr. Ruler, welcome back Mr. Ruler, I'm gonna measure about 3.5 inches for the neck, and I'm gonna use my cake scraps to cut out those 3.5 inches and then fix them, and that's gonna be the neck area or the neck bridge that I'm gonna connect the head to it. Then I realized his torso is a little bit bigger than I wanted, so I trim it.
I then crumb coat my cake to catch all the crumbs. It's like building a pyramid. It's the layers and layers of hardware, giving it shape. And then chill. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up on the bottom, share on social media, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And make sure you tag, when you share the video, all your friends who hate clowns. My brother hates clowns, and there's nothing more than I like to do is to scare him. What are my fears? My biggest fear is spiders. I have to admit, cartoon spiders, any kind of spiders will make me jump. And bananas in the cluster. I don't know why, but I get chills and I get scared when I see bananas in the cluster. It's who I am. I don't understand it. So if you know what the hell is wrong with me, comment down below.
When crumb coating, remember it's important to cover all the edges and all the crumbs. For his dead skin tone, I'm going to use a little bit of black, a lot of ivory, and yellow, and I'm going to knead it until all the colors combine. I take the cake out of my fridge and I finish its final coat, and I go back to chill. Then it's time for the face. I open a bag of Rice Krispies and I have melted marshmallow and added butter to it. I'm going to stir it and add that to my Rice Krispies, and I'm just going to knead it until all the air has come out and is very compact. I used the guide next to me. I had my phone with a picture, and you should do the same. And just grab that and begin to shape it and give it form, giving the eyes, putting where the nose is going to go, giving the chin, making indentations. And then you want to make sure you coat all of it completely with buttercream, because if you don't mix it and combine it, when you add the fondant, it's going to show all the indentations and wrinkles. Then I roll out some of my skin tone fondant, and I'm going to roll it enough to fit the whole body, and I'm going to leave the neck area exposed. I'm going to use my fondant smoother and smooth out all the cake, including the edges. And then on the bottom of my cake, I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut it roughly. It doesn't have to be perfect, because that's skin that's ripping off, and we'll fix that later. And then once I'm satisfied, I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and cut all around the cake, making sure I get rid of all the extra fondant. I use a brush and water, and I'm going to brush on the shoulders. I ended up rolling 2 pieces of fondant long enough, and I'm going to glue that to the neck area to give it a collarbone. I'm going to gently press it and try to smooth it out, but then I have a trick to make it look better. With a small offset spatula, I add water to the fondant, and I'm going to mash it until it becomes a paste. Then I'm going to use that paste and I'm going to fill in the cracks that I made, and I'm just going to smooth it out, and do not worry, it will dry out. It will look like it was never there. Then I use my fondant tool to give it shape and definition.
So you might be wondering why I'm dressed like a pharaoh. Number 1, I was a king in the last video. Number 2, I'm the pharaoh of all cakes. That's me. And I reign over the Macaron Nile River. And I recycled last year's costumes, so we're just gonna keep it that way. But that's our secret.
I rolled out my leftover skin tone fondant, and it's enough to cover the face. And I'm gonna cover the face and again gently press into the indentations and take the form of the head. I'm gonna use my X-Acto knife and trim all around the head, removing all the extra fondant. Then I'm going to use my fondant tool to start making lines so I know where the brow is going to go, by the nose, the wrinkles, the mouth, and the forehead. I use water to mark an outline where the eye goes, and I had 2 pieces of fondant I rolled out identically. I place one on the top and I begin to smooth it out because I want to create the eyelids. And I'm going to smooth it out as much as I can, especially from the center of the eye and the outside. Then I'm going to add the bottom one on the bottom to form the bottom eyelid. And then again, I'm going to smooth it out and connect it. Do my best to make it merge into the fondant and trim away any pieces that I need. I roll out a little piece of fondant and I'm going to put it into the eyes to create the eye, and I'm going to do that to both. I'm going to place the head with the cake and I'm going to trim part of the neck and then merge it together, and I'm going to use my trick again to cover and to seal any crack that shows. I place more fondant to give it more detail by the neck. I rolled out brown fondant because that's going to cover the body, and I'm going to add that on the bottom, lifting the skin up and then letting the skin fall back down. You can find any recipe online, but if you go to my website, CakeWithIt.com, you can see any past recipes and use them for any project. And now for the fun part. You can paint your clown any way you'd like, but I decided to keep it a little more traditional but a little bit scary, so I did a triangle on the top of the eye and then a smaller one on the bottom, and I'm just using food coloring because it's gonna dry out once you refrigerate it and it won't stain you, and I do that to both of the eyes. Then I create a blue color outline around the mouth, and then I decided it wasn't long enough, so I fixed it and adjusted it, and using red food coloring I'm gonna color the inner part of the mouth. And then finally, to make it look a little bit more creepy and possessed, I'm going to color the eyeballs all black. To fit the nose, I snip off the area where the nose will go, and I rolled out red fondant into a ball, and I'm gonna put that right on top of it, and it should stick with the Rice Krispie. Then I use my fondant tool to create holes around the nose. I use ivory food coloring with black, and I mix it into different shades, and I'm just going to color around the clown to give it a third dimension look and to give it more depth. And now we're going to see it in a documentary horror film version. And we're back. And I'm going to continue to add more definition towards the chest cavity. Then I'm going to lift the skin up, and I'm going to use red food coloring to color on the bottom part so it shows more deeper red shades on the inside, which we then will cover later. I'm going to color with more red on the shoulder areas on both sides. That's where his arm was ripped off. And to make it more gruesome, I'm going to use strawberry preserves that have chunks in it, add red food coloring, and I'm going to smash that to the bottom part so it looks like guts and stuff that are sliding out of the cake. I felt like this clown wasn't tortured enough, so I'm going to go back to the bottom skin and I'm going to begin to pinch to make it look like this clown suffered a horrible death. Pinch that. Once I'm done pinching them and peeling what I need, I'm going to grab red food coloring and color on the edges because that's where the blood came from.
And now, if you want to play a game, I grab my scissors and I cut the clown's head open, and once I peel it all out, I'm gonna add strawberry preserves to make it look like the brain is oozing out.
And we're back. So for the hair, I could have gone the easy way and got cotton candy, but Jerry doesn't do things easy. I'm gonna make my own candy hair. So I'm gonna grab 1 cup of sugar and half a cup of water, and I'm gonna boil that to 230 degrees. Then I'm gonna boil it again to 320 degrees, not stirring. Once it reaches 320, I'm gonna pull it out of the stove. I'm gonna add white food coloring and orange food coloring. I'm gonna stir that until it cools down enough for me to make waves. I'm gonna use my silk pads and I'm gonna make stripes of caramel all around, and I'm gonna do about 3 of them, and they should dry out in 5 minutes. Then I'm gonna break them apart and I'm gonna put those around my clown so he has orange hair. Arrange them any way you want. I just put them on the side and pile them up, and you want to do this the very last day because the sugar will absorb the moisture in the air and it will melt. So there you go, dead clown cake. And if you liked and enjoyed the video, make sure you like the video, share it with everyone you know, even those who hate clowns. And I'll see you guys again next Tuesday. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel.
And I didn't forget to taste test.